over 1,300 career rushing yards, two-time All-Conference, 1959 Orange Bowl MVP, and 8 years in the NFL. He ran right through the color barrier at Oklahoma, the same way he ran through defenders on the field. But that's Prentice Gott, the football player. If you really knew Prentice, you know he was much more than that.
He's been in halls of honor. He was recognized as a great player here, but obviously his reach went way beyond football.
We met at the University of Missouri, Columbia, after Prentice had retired from professional football.
For football fans, Prentice Gott's arrival at Missouri to coach while getting his PhD was a big deal to everyone, except...
No idea who he was. I had no idea, what he'd done at Oklahoma. And the fact that he was a player in the NFL were not credentials that impressed me at all.
But Prentice, being Prentice, was determined.
He called and wanted to know if we could go to dinner. And I had ordered soup. And so they bring my soup. And I get my spoon halfway up to my mouth. And he says very quietly, in his way, I always say grace before I eat. And that just, that blew my mind. Because my stereotype of pro athlete, that wasn't fitting in.
34 years of marriage later, Prentice never changed.
That was the person.
My wife, Sandra, and I want to thank Joe Castiglione.
Joe Castiglione, the current athletic director at Oklahoma, is also the former athletic director for Missouri, which is where he too met Prentice.
At what point did you learn his story? Did you find out through him, or did someone kind of give you a nudge and say, hey, that is, right?
I got to know him way before I knew his story. He didn't bring that story up. I wasn't aware of it, actually, until I came to Oklahoma.
When Castiglione learned just what Prentice had to overcome, hearing boos from fans, multiple racist teammates, and several racist encounters in the community,
it blew me away.
They soon became friends, and that's when he learned who Prentice really was.
He is a powerful figure. He handled himself in some of the most challenging and difficult in situations we would now call aberrant, but he did it in a way that inspired people to think deeper, to learn more, to understand more, and accept more. When you think about the NCAA and where it's made its greatest strides, Prentice Gott was at the forefront of that. He became known as the champion for student-athlete welfare, and he dedicated his whole life to that.
For Prentice, football provided an education and opportunities, but it's what he did with those opportunities that truly cemented his legacy.
When he finished his doctorate, he worked in the athletic department as their academic counselor, worked and developed a life skills program that shifted the focus from I'm going to go play pro ball to I need to really think about what is life after college if I don't play pro ball. He had an opportunity then to go to the Big 8 conference to focus on education and enforcement. One of the things he was proudest of is that the Big 12 postgraduate scholarship has been named for him.
For us, having our academic center where it brings all of our student athletes together, to have a place where we can honor him and celebrate him was really important for us.
There are so many friends here.
When I think about that football weekend when we celebrated and dedicated the academic center in his honor, and then introduced him at halftime of the football game, that was maybe the most powerful moment I've ever been part of.
Because he's out in the middle of that field where, as a player, people were yelling obscenities. And so he said the 360-degree feeling was the standing ovation that he got as we were standing there. They certainly recognized what he achieved on the field. But I think when you talk with most people that knew him, it's more about the person that he was.
The person that, with great depth, humble and kind heart, exceedingly intelligent, so aware of the world around him. I think he helped change the world.